Om Sadashiva Samarambham Shankaracharya Madhyamam Asmadacharya Paryantam Vande Guru Paramparam. Om. For the next few days, we will be celebrating Shankara Jayanti and playing certain audios and expressing our tribute to the great teacher Adi Shankaracharya, who is highly revered by our teachers Swami Paramarthananda and Swami Dayananda Saraswati. We are very fortunate to have a Shotriya Brahmanishta Guru in Swami Paramarthananda. And to those who are new to this group, we are all students of Swami Paramarthananda, who has explained the Bhagwad Gita and the Upanishads and all the Prakarana Granthas and given us a wonderful insight into the rich tradition of our Shastras. As part of the exercise, during this lockdown period when many of us are stuck at home, what each of us are doing is we are taking one verse of the Bhagwad Gita where Swamiji would have spoken for about 20 to 30 minutes, and the students will make every effort to see how they can present the gist of it in about 5 minutes, essentially to share their understanding what Swamiji has explained, how it makes meaningful for them, and that is how we are spending our evenings on this for the last so many weeks now. Ullas, it is your time to explain the 25th verse of the 5th chapter of the Gita.
Hari Om. Labhante Brahma Nirvanam Rishayah Kshina Kalmashaha Chinnad Vaidhayatatmanas Sarvabhuta Hite Rataha. This is a very beautiful verse because we are talking about the benefits of Jnana Yoga here. Swamiji has talked about the benefits before also, but in this stage, in this verse, he talks about not just the destination, but also the different stages to reach to the spiritual sadhanas that we need to do to get to the Jnana Yoga. The very first one is in the second line, Sarva Bhuta Hite Rataha. It represents a life of values. Now I need to get interested in the welfare of every being and everything. Sarva Bhut is all the things and beings. Hite is the welfare and Rataha is I am interested in that. Once I do that, this becomes the basis of all the future virtues. I need to learn this by, for example, the family structure is because I need to understand the pain of others apart from just myself. Once I do it for my family, then for my colony, society, nation, etc. That's how I keep expanding that feeling. I need to make my mind sensitive to the pain of others. Once I do that, I will then start helping them. Then I don't need to practice ahimsa. I will just become incapable of himsa. For example, I have two hands. Now my right hand is not practicing to not do hinsa on my left hand. It will just not do that. If there is any help needed for my left hand, it will do it. So once I do that for others also, now I get the feeling of Vasudhaiva Kutumbakam. So that is the very first stage. Once I do that as part of my karma yoga, now I come to second stage, which is Kshirna Kalmashaha. Kalmashaha is all the papam. Kshirna is free from all the papam. What is papam in Swamiji's language is that anything which obstructs my spiritual journey becomes a papam for me. Now, whether I am not emotionally ready or I have some issue going on with my family or whatever it is, for those things only we ask for all those three shantis, Adhyatmik, Adibhautik or Adidevik, to make sure that all the conditions are right. And all the conditions will be right if I have enough punyam, if I have the right Ishwar Anugrah, which is like I don't have the papam. So I need to get that purity. So that is Kshirna Kalmasha. Once all those things are settled, I get to stage 3, in which I have the interest, I have desires, all conditions are there. But there is self effort, which is still needed. We say moksha is a purushartha. It's not a God's grace. God's grace is equal to everybody. Sunshine is equal to everybody, but only make hay when the sun shines. So I need to take initiative. I don't need to have the fatalistic attitude that, okay, God will give whenever it is the right time. That is not what our Shastras teach. Then once I do this self effort, now I become Rishi. Rishi is not somebody with a long beard or with ochre probes. Is the one who sees the truth, who gets one with the knowledge, who can understand the knowledge. Once I do that, then is the main step is of Chinnad Vaidha. I should not have any doubts. We've seen in other verses also that we all have the notion that of the knowledge that I am Brahmasmi. but little bit of a doubt we always have, or at least I have in my mind that Aham Brahmasmi is fine, but maybe it is true, maybe it is not. I cannot really feel it. So that is where Mananam comes. And also our Shastras are very notorious in terms of they're very confusing for a beginner, because on one side they will say that I am a karta bhokta, on the other side we just saw we need to do purushartha. So which one is it? Now, that is the stage where you need to learn from a guru which comes from a sampradaya. They can clarify your doubts. I need to do mananam, because all these different statements are for different people in different stages of their Vedanta study. So, the Chinnad Vedas stage is something in which I clarify all my doubts. Once I do that, that is when I become a Brahma Nirvanam Labhante. I attain that Brahma Nirvanam, which in the second chapter language is equivalent to Sthira Pragya. Now I merge with the Brahman. This is the final stage. This is the gnana phalam. Now when I say merge, it doesn't mean a physical merging. It is actually just dropping the notion that I am separate from Brahman. So that is what happens in the final stage. To sum up, we start with following values, then we become pure, we remove all our papam, then we take the initiative. By initiative, we get all the sadhun chatushtaya, we go to the guru, we say tat vidhi pranipaten and all that. We get the guru, etc. We do all our efforts, then we gain the knowledge. Once we get the knowledge, we gain conviction. Once we have the conviction, it's only then when we become one with Brahman. So these are all different stages, and that's how we get the Jnana Phalam. Hari Om, sir. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Ullas. You brought out the essence in a very short period of time and a very clear presentation. Dr. Vasumati, it is your time.
Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Kama Krodha Yuktanam Yatinam Yatachetasam Abhito Brahma Nirvanam Vartate Viditatmanam. Oneness with Brahman takes place both here and hereafter for the self-restrained, ones who are free from desire and anger, whose minds are restrained and who have known the Atma. Swamiji says it's the same idea, and we have also now previous verses repeated here for the sake of clarity. Here also the various stages of spiritual growth are pointed out. The first stage is Kama Krodha Vyuktanam. Kamaha here means the desire for acquisition, and Krodhaha means anger caused by the obstacle in acquiring things or the anger caused by the loss of things acquired. So Kamaha will invariably lead to Krodhaha. And this management of Kama and Krodha is possible when I know the basic principle of Vedanta. And what is this basic principle of Vedanta? That my happiness does not depend upon what I have, but it depends on what I am. So I always focus on what I am and not what I have. And the next stage is Yatachetasam. Those who have integrated their mind, those who organize their mind. You know, mind is the instrument with which we have to do the spiritual journey. And unless my mind is focused enough, I will not be able to pursue spirituality. Therefore, the focusing capacity is emphasized, which is otherwise called Samadhi Sakta Sampatti. So that all my organs cooperate with me for my spiritual journey. My body must be fit, sense organs must be fit, emotional mind should be fit, intellect must be fit, and they should be available for my use, and that is called as Yata. Then Yatinam. So the next stage is Yati. The literal meaning of the word Yati is sannyasi. So what does sannyasi stand for? Committed study of scriptures is the duty of a sannyasi, and if a person follows the spirituality in a committed manner, then all such persons are sannyasis only. If my priority in life is spiritual growth, I'm a sannyasi. It does not matter whether I go to office, I earn money, I'll be doing all these things. But if my top priority is moksha and gnanam, I can call myself to be a sannyasi. And therefore, yati means spirituality is priority and all other things are subsidiary. Then what is the final stage? Viditatmanaha. If a person pursues spiritual knowledge with such a commitment, which is nothing but gnana yoga. Always remember the definition of gnana yoga. It is the systematic and consistent study of Vedanta for a length of time under the guidance of a competent acharya. And this systematic study will lead to clear knowledge, and that gnana is called Viditatma. All those people become jnanis as a result of the sadhanas. And because of this knowledge, what happens? Brahma Nirvanam Vartate. So they have oneness with Brahman, merger into Brahman. Merger is not a physical activity. It's not a physical event. It's an intellectual event. It's a cognitive event. What is this cognition? There is no distance between me and Brahman. In fact, aham brahmasmi, this merger and oneness is abhitaha. What is this abhitaha? Abhitaha means both ways. But both ways in this context means that oneness is there before death, and also this oneness continues after death. Oneness before death is called Jivan Mukti, and the continued oneness after death is called Videha Mukti. The general example given in the Shastra is the pot space merging into the total space. I am one indivisible consciousness in the presence of the body also. I am one indivisible, all-pervading consciousness after the fall of this body also. I am one indivisible, all-pervading consciousness, full stop. Hari Om.
Thank you. Thank you, Dr. Vasumati. So nicely presented. You see the richness of each of these verses of the concluding part of the 5th chapter. And as we are approaching the 6th chapter, you will see the tendency now towards various techniques of meditation. We go to the next speaker, Dr. Kannan. It is your time, Dr. Kannan.
Sparshan kritva bahirbanshan chakshusuchaivantare bhruvo pranapanau samau kritva nasabhyantara charinau. So, looking at the literal meaning of these words, sparshan meaning the contact through senses. We have discussed about this in the previous verses about how contacts is an important thing which connects the senses and the sense organs, resulting in a lot of the baggage that we carry in this samsara world. Bahi bahyan, external. The chakshusi, the eyes, is one of the sense organs, one of the most powerful sense organs. We are trying to make use of the most powerful sense organs now to look in between our eyebrows. Cha eva antare bruvoho. In between the eyebrows, one of the techniques of meditation. And while doing so, prana apanau, you try to maintain the outgoing and the incoming breaths, both the inhalation and the exhalation, into somehow equal. On a normal way, when we try to see our breaths, our breaths are not equal, and trying to keep it equal is an important step during this meditation. Nasa abhayanthara, within the nostrils, charino, keep the air moving within the nostrils. So what is the context of this verse? With the previous verse, Lord Krishna has completed the topic of gnana phala, the benefits of jnana. In fact, started off with karma yoga, then gnana phalam, jnana yoga, jivan mukti, and videha mukti. But in the last 3 verses from 27 to 29, Krishna Paramatma introduces the topic of meditation, and he is obviously going to give more about it on the 6th chapter. It's as though like you always give a little teaser before going to the next chapter, and the teaser here is to just to point out that the 6th chapter is going to be titled on dhyana yoga, which is purely going to be on meditation, and he wants to kindle the interest in Arjuna's mind, in our mind, on what this exactly is. Now, the literal meaning of this verse is to keep outside the external sense objects and fixate the sight between the eyebrows. One should regulate the inhalation and exhalation moving inside the nostrils. Why meditation? Why are we talking about meditation in the midst of karma yoga, jnana phalam? Meditation is prescribed for assimilating the Gita teaching. Teaching should percolate from a superficial mind to a subconscious and even to an unconscious mind. Why is this important? Because most of the reaction that comes from our body, our actions are coming from the subconscious mind. Remember, most of us all here are grihasthas. We cannot go to the forest. We cannot have a traditional sannyasa. We are all grihasthas, and with all our possessions that we have, emotional, financial, family possessions, we have to create a mind to handle the baggage that it will come with these possessions. So that is why meditation becomes very important, and to assimilate the teaching. Our reactions to life situations is purely mechanical and never from a conscious mind. Very nice example. Whenever we get angry, after a few minutes, we then regret why we did so. And that is clearly because we don't really intend to do so from a conscious level, but something subconscious makes our reaction. So if the Gita teaching percolates from the conscious mind into the subconscious mind, then it will help us remove that old samsari which is sitting inside us and trying to manipulate or misbehave when we come to difficult life situations. So instead of having the knowledge remain in one corner, it is useful that it is accessible when we need when you need it the most. So that we can say that when I do something that is backed by Gita teaching, somehow to mix this knowledge into our personality. That is what Swamiji says, mixing the knowledge in your personality. Gives a beautiful example of how coffee and sugar gets mixed. You really don't know the difference, but if you mix it up so well, that's beautiful. The sugar stays down in the bottom and never gets mixed up, then you really don't use the whole benefits of the Gita teaching. Then the question comes, why focus on breathing? Because the condition of the mind and the condition of the breathing are interconnected. It is so very well explained in so many of our scriptures, so many of our practices day to day. Any simple shloka, Shuklam Bharadaram, Om Bhorbhavasuha, all focus on breathing. And if you can fine tune your breathing, that makes your mind calm down and your mind starts to become focusing even better. What do you do with your eyes then? You neither completely close your eyes, you may fall asleep. If you keep it open, then a lot of disturbance or distractions that tends to affect your mind. Then you keep your eyes half closed and focus your attention in between your eyebrows. By doing that technique, you're able to calm down your mind and you're able to focus your mind better on meditating on some of the teachings that we have had. So removing all the sense objects from our mind, removing the mental relationship, Swamiji in fact says we want to become a mental sannyasi. That is the message he gives here. Having restrained the sense organs, mind, intellect, freedom from desire, fear, anger, and with liberation as a supreme goal, one who nididhyasana dhyana karta becomes a Vedantic meditator is liberated forever. Outer sannyasa is not important. We all continue to be our grihastha, we all continue to be karma yogas, but inner sannyasa is the real sannyasa. Inner renunciation is the real renunciation. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, Dr. Kannan, for the nice explanation of this mantra. As you will see, as we are concluding the 5th chapter, Krishna is preparing us for the wonderful 6th chapter, which talks about meditation. As Dr. Kannan said, Swami Param has clearly explained that meditation is of 2 types. One, before you get Brahma Jnanam, and that is various forms of upasana, which is given in this form of meditation, which is a form of pranayam to condition your mind so that you get gnana yogyata. And once you get jnanam, then you do a form of meditation which is called nididhyasana. 28th mantra is for Smita. It is your time, Smita.
Gurubhyo namaha. Yatendriyamano buddhihi munirmoksha parayanaha vigatecha bhayakrodaha yas sadha mukta eva saha. The Shabdartha is like this. Yatendriya mano buddhihi means restraint, senses, mind and intellect. Munihi means sage. Mokshaha liberation. Parayanaha ultimate goal. Vigata devoid. Ichha desire. Bhayaha fear. Krodaha anger. Yaha one who. Sada ever. Mukta liberated. Eva also. Saha that person. The literal meaning of the verse is the meditator or the muni whose senses, mind and intellect are well controlled, whose main goal is liberation, who is devoid of desire, fear and anger, he is ever liberated. With 26th verse, Lord Krishna has completed the topic of gnana phalam and the benefit of gnanam, jivan mukti and videha mukti. With verse 27, Lord Krishna actually introduces the topic of meditation. So in verses 27, 28, 29, he talks about meditation and its results, and the same is elaborated in the 6th chapter, which is called as Dhyana Yoga. The last 3 shlokas, that is 27, 28, 29, are called as Bija shlokas. Lord Shri Krishna continues to preview the steps needed for preparing ourselves for meditation. meditation becomes, mind gets disturbed every time when desire, fear, and anger make their appearances in it. It's like the reflection of an object getting hazy and broken on the surface of disturbed water. Likewise, the presence of Atma is obscured in a disturbed mind. Mind should first of all gain calmness through the conquest of desire, fear, and anger. Then the meditation becomes easy. When the concentration is strengthened and the mind is not allowed to use its usual channels, that is the senses, it spontaneously begins to attain one-pointedness, which is a step beyond concentration. When this is attained and the mind is not allowed to go to the external world, it finds its way inward. That is the first step of meditation. When the sadhaka or yogi attains that state, he acquires direct control of the mind. Such mind is free from fear, anger, and finds liberation from the bondage arising from enslavement by sense pleasures. However, that liberation is not final liberation, for the inward mind has yet to light the fire of knowledge in which all samskaras are burned. When that occurs, the highest state of liberation is attained. But the final liberation is higher yet. That final liberation takes place when jiva, that is individual self, unites itself with the pure self, which is the self of all, exactly as a drop of water unites with and becomes one with ocean. Hereafter, the verse meaning says, having restrained the sense organs, mind, and intellect, free from desire, fear, and anger, with the liberation as a supreme goal, one who meditates becomes liberated forever. Thank you, Doctor.
Thank you, Smita, for a nice explanation of this mantra. We will see more of this when we come to Dhyana Yoga chapter, where Krishna goes into such details of how what is called Bahiranga Sadhana and Antaranga Sadhana. What is the state of mind you should be before you sit in for meditation? With that, we go to Dr. Srinivas. Dr. Srinivas, it is your time.
Hari Om Acharya. Param yajna tapasam sarvaloka maheshwaram suhridam sarvabhutanam yatva mam shantim ruchyati padartha. In this shloka, there are no sandhi words first, but we don't have to be divided. So padartha yajna tapasam, yajnanam tapasam, that is yajna as well as tapas. Here, yajna and tapas means both the physical yajna as well as the yajna, which is a self-dedicated work which we perform in any field of activity. Tapas means it can be a real tapas or a practice of self-control the ego undertakes in order to integrate and revive its own capacities to seek its real identity with the eternal. So the yajna and tapas can be both physical as well as mental level. Bhoktaram means palakam. Sarvaloka Maheshwaram means Sakala Bhuvana Natham. Bhutanam means Sakala Praninam means all living creatures on the world. So Sukridam also there are two meanings. One meaning is Mitram, our friend, or according to Swami Param, it is the Lord is living within the heart. That is the meaning which Swami Param has explained. Mam means Asmat Shabdaha Ditya Vibhakti Ekavachanam. That is Nannannu. In Kannada it is Nannannu. Jnatva means within Tva. It means knowing me. Shantim means moksham. Pruchati means vindati. So here Anvayaha is like this. Yajna tapasam bhoktaram sarvaloka maheshwaram sarvabhutana sukridam am jnatva shantim ruchati. The main kriyapadam is ruchati. Here, ruchati means to attain or to attain is the ruchati means. So, what he attains shanti, shanti mriktati. So, after knowing whom he attains shanti, kim krutva shanti mriktati. After shanti mriktati. After knowing he gets so Jnatva Shanti. Jnatva Shanti. Means after knowing me, he gets Shanti or he gets Moksha. Kidrishaha Mam. So what are the three qualities which the Bhagavan explains here? These are Param, Tapasam, Sarvalokam, Sarvabhutanam, Sukhadam. These are the three adjectives for the Mam here. That means the Bhagavan gives three adjectives. So we should identify these are the three adjectives which we have to meditate upon, which the in the sixth chapter which the Bhagavan explains. So here, so what he says is, whenever we do yajna or tapas, we should know that it is the self which is behind this yajna and tapas, which is the self which illuminates all these activities. And Sarvaloka Maheshwaram means the fields of activities within ourselves. So whether we are seeing, whether we are hearing, or whether we are touching anything, all these are considered as different fields. These fields are illuminated by the self. So, or we can also say that all these lokas, the Lord is the Lord of Lords for all these lokas. So even that is also another meaning for this. And Sukhudam Sarvabhutanam. So this meaning for this is that the Lord stays in every living creature. And another meaning is he is a friend of all living creatures. So these are the three different adjectives. So we should be aware of all these things. If one is aware of all these things and meditates upon these things, he is going to attain Shanti or is going to attain Moksha. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, Dr. Srinivas. As always, we enjoy the way you are able to explain with your deep understanding of Sanskrit, and we hope to listen to you week after week. With that, we conclude the 5th chapter, a wonderful chapter of the Gita. We now go to the 6th chapter of the Gita. The first verse is yours, Dr. Ahalya.
Namaste, sir. Hari Om. As we just heard the ideas of the 5th chapter, these are further explained and a practical tool is given in the 6th chapter. The technique to understand these ideas is developed in the chapter of Dhyana Yoga or Atma Samyama Yoga, which deals with the topic of meditation. This is the last of the chapters which deals with Tvam Padartha, and here Krishna is leading Arjuna to self-contemplation and self-unfoldment through meditation. This technique of meditation is one that is advocated in one form or another by all religions at all times in the history of man. Swami Param clarifies this is Vedantic meditation dealt with in the 6th chapter and is not a means for liberation. Meditation here is not a means for knowledge nor for extraordinary experiences. As you were saying, sir, meditation is of two types, before the study and after the study. One is the Upasana Yoga and the other is Nididhyasana Yoga. And the krama goes like this. There is first Upasana Yoga or the Saguna Ishvara Dhyana, the preparatory phase for the actual study, Gnana Yogyata Prapti, required to refine and cultivate the mind. And then comes the actual study, the Gnana Prapti through Shravanam and Mananam. In fact, Ullas was talking about the Chinnam Dvaida, etc., the Shravanam and Mananam, which is also mentioned here as Jignasa or Adhyatma Yoga. Shravanam, as we already heard, is a systematic and consistent study of scriptures for a length of time under an acharya. And during this course of Jnana Prapti, Samshaya arises. There is Jnana through Shravanam, but it is not Prama. Mananam is the phase which takes us towards Samshaya Nivritti, where Jnana becomes Drida Jnana, knowledge becomes conviction, Nissamshaya Jnana, Prama. After Jnana Prapti, the second meditation, Nididhyasanam, the Vedantic meditation starts. Nididhyasana is removal of the habitual notions, the Viparita bhavas that we have. We often wonder why knowledge has not yielded any result. Why is there no transformation in a sadhaka even after Shravanam and Mananam for so many years? The reason could be many. Viparita bhavana, obstacles embedded as various unrecognized thoughts and emotions at the subconscious or the unconscious level accumulated over the janmas could be one. Again, Nididhyasana has two aspects here: an alert living in tune with the Vedantic thought, and self-opinion revision, Atma Samyama Dhyana. This is meant for assimilation of gnana. Nididhyasana is meant for assimilation of gnana. Gnana phala anubhava, not Brahma gnana. But Shanti, Tushti, Tripti, Abhaya, etc. I am secure, I am truth, I am full. All that we have, we are meant to, all that we hear, we are meant to actually understand, feel it, and experience that. To get Jnana Nishta or Jivan Mukti, the ideas are laid down. Swami Param categorizes this chapter into 5 and says, Krishna does not do it. Swami Param, for our understanding, says this: Bahiranga sadhanani or sadharana samanya sadhanani. This is the general preparation that is required for meditation. It could be the mindset. A calm mind without violent emotions is what he means here. It is not a mind devoid of emotions, but one with controlled emotions. Samatvam yoga uchyate, as we had heard. Kshina kalmasha, as Ulas was saying. Vishesha sadhanani, antaranga sadhanani, just before meditation. Dhyana swarupa, the process or the nature of meditation. Dhyana palam, what is expected. Dhyana pratibandhaka parihara, sleep, etc. The remedies to the obstacle. So the sixth chapter begins thus. Shri Bhagavan Uvacha Anashritah karma phalam karyam karma karoti yaha sa sannyasi cha yogi cha na niragnir na chakriya. He who performs the actions to be done without expecting the result of the action is a real sannyasi and not a renouncer of rituals. Moreover, he is a yogi and not a renouncer of activities. This is a Bahiranga Samanya Sadhana. Anashritah karma palaha, not relying on material benefits of the performed actions. Karyam karma karotiyaha, action as prescribed by the Shastras, meant for inner growth like the Panchamahayajna. Actually, the two should be combined and understood as the actions prescribed by the Shastra, which is done regularly without relying on the material benefits of the performed action by a person. Sa yogi cha, such a person becomes a yogi. A true karma yogi is considered as a monk, even though he has not renounced the family. He is still in sannyasa. He is still a sannyasi because he has renounced the concern for material benefits. He is between the Ishwararpana and the Ishwara Prasada. Na niragnihi. Agni is basically one of the belongs to a householder. Agni actually also signifies a ritual. Niragnihi, non-ritualistic, one who has given up the not given up the Vedic programs. He is not an ashrama sannyasi. He is a karma yogi, a grihastha, but still, as his mind is focused, he is a sannyasi. Na chakriya. Sitting silently without doing anything, Krishna says, such a person is not a meditator, but a householder who is active in life is a meditator if he is a karma yogi with focus. DVG's Mankutimmana Kagga brings out the import of this shloka in this particular Kagga, if I may be permitted, sir. ಸ್ವಸ್ಥತೆಯ ಕದಲಿಸದ ಜಗದಾಸ್ತೆ ಒಂದು ಗುಣ ಆಸ್ತೆಯನ್ನು ಕುಂದಿಸದ ತಾಟಸ್ಥ್ಯ ಒಂದು ನಷ್ಟ ಲಾಭಗಳಲ್ಲಿ ಲಘು ಹಾಸ್ಯ ನಯ ಒಂದು ಸ್ವಸ್ತಿಗಾವಶ್ಯಕವು ಮಂಕುತಿಮ್ಮ ಸ್ವಸ್ಥತೆಯ ಕದಲಿಸದ ಜಗದಾಸ್ತೆಯೊಂದು ಗುಣ. I am interested in the Jagat, in performing whatever I need to without disturbing my swastha state, without bringing any harm to that. Astayanu kundisada tatastya vandu. I don't live a dry life. I am interested in everything, but with a tatastha bhava. Nothing will pull me into it. I'm just the observer, and it's an objective duty that I am looking at. Nashtalabhangalali lagu hasya nayavondu. So what is the attitude either for the good or for the bad? Agama paino anityaha, as we heard in the second chapter. So nashtalabhangalali lagu hasya nayavondu swastiga avashyakavu mankutimma. The word swastha, as we know, sir, swa is myself and stha. So Yasya atmani samsrishte is what he says, one who is situated in his own atma. Swastiga avashyakavo mankutimma. An attitude like that is required for one to be swastha, to be healthy, to be situated where he is. And this is the import of the first shloka through this particular kagga. Namaste.
Thank you, Dr. Ahalya, for giving a very nice overview of what meditation is and explaining this mantra.
Yam sanyasamiti prahuhu yogam tam vidhi pandava na hyasanyasta sankalpaha yogi bhavati kaschana. Pandava yam sanyasam iti prahuhu tam yogam iti vidhi asanyasta sankalpaha kaschana yogi na bhavati. Here the meaning of the verse is, O Pandava, know that as yoga, which is called sannyasam, for none becomes a yogi without renouncing sankalpaha. In this dhyana yoga, it is also known as abhyasa yoga because we are repeatedly practicing shamadamadi internal and internal instruments. Krishna describes Dhyana Yogam as a ladder with Karma Yoga, Dhyana Yoga, Gnana Nishta, and Gnana Praptihi as the steps of a ladder called Moksha. In the verses 1 and 2, Karma Yoga is praised. Karma Yoga is primarily a step for and the Bahiranga Sadhanam for Dhyana Yoga. Sri Shankaracharya says Sri Krishna gives a glimpse of the subject matter of Dhyana Shloka in the last three verses of the chapter 5 in a small capsule form, that is Sutra Prayena. Two types of Dhyanam, Saguna Brahma, Saguna Dhyanam and Nirguna Dhyanam, sadhanas for concentration of mind are also indicated in this chapter. First two verses talks about Karma Yoga. Sri Krishna repeatedly discusses about Karma Yoga because he is addressing Arjuna, a Karmi Gruhastha, who represents the whole humanity. In this shloka, Sri Krishna praises Karma Yoga is for only Stutyartham. He says it is almost equal to a sannyasi. Stutyartham is not actual praising, but a figurative way of complimenting Arjuna. This verse is an elaboration of the first verse, as Dr. Ahalya explained. Here, Sri Krishna says a karma yogi is same as sannyasi. Karma yoga consists of action done with Ishwara Arpana Bhavaha and Ishwara Prasada Buddhihi. That is, karma yogi renounces thoughts of results of an action while he performs the action. He gets chitta shuddhihi. Sannyasa or true renunciation is abandoning of all actions as well as the fruits. Sarva karma phala sankalpa sadhana are all sacrificed. Here the sannyasi knows these are the pravrutti hetu karanam. That is, they are the cause of chitta vikshepaha, those thoughts causing desires which impel one to act. A karma yogi too renounces thoughts of the results while he performs actions. But the similarity between them is in the concerned agent. Both depend on the mind and attitude of the karta. This is the sadrusham, that is karma pala tyagaha. This is the idea set forth in the second half of the shloka. An agent of activity who does not discard sankalpa and attachment to the fruits of works, he gets distracted. Therefore, any doer of the karma who has given up mental clinging to the fruits of work is a yogi, and the yogitvam is attributed to him. Thus, in this shloka, appreciation of karma yoga, its parity with renunciation has been affirmed on the basis of the common element of rejection by the agent. Sri Krishna gives a pat and encourages Arjuna with words to do his karma. Here the key words are sannyasi, yes, or sannyasam. Sannyasam is samyak nestam. That means karma phalam, karma sankalpa, karma phalam, everything is sannyasat, he is sannyasi. Yogam is karma yogam, Yogi is, he does karma as a preparatory step for karma yoga and achieves chitta samadhanam. Sankalpam is samyak kalpanam, the mission statement or attaching a great value for something. The asanyasta sankalpa is the one who has not abandoned sankalpa. Sa yogi na bhavati, samahita chittaha na bhavati. Thank you, sir.
Thank you, madam. So nice to be able to listen to you and take part in every day, although you are staying so far away at this time. With that, we come to the last verse for today. Dr. Ravi Shankar, it's your time, Dr. Ravi Shankar.
Hari Om, sir.
Hari Om.
Arurukshormune yogam karma karanamuchyate yoga rudasya tasyairva shamaha karanamuchyate. The third shloka of this chapter highlights a difference between two kinds of yogis. One is the Arurukshor Mune Yoga and the other is the Yoga Rudasya. The Karana Muchyate is a common factor between the two. What is the Karana is what is described. Aruruksho is one who has begun, who wants to reach yoga. Muner is sage, but in this context, it means a seeker or a sadhaka. Yoga is the eightfold yoga, but here it refers to the dhyana yoga. Karma is work. Karuna Muchyate is said to be the cause. Yoga Rudasya is a word which means yoga plus Arudasya is one who has attained dhyana yoga in this particular context. Tasya eva, he consistently or constantly does it. Samaha is cessation or renunciation of what? Both material and mental action. The same word Kshamodama is the beginning of the 42nd verse of the chapter 18. Having understood the Atma Samnya Yoga of the various ladders, Bahiranga, Antaranga, Dhyana Swarupa, Dhyana Phalam, and the Prabandha Parihara, a lot of stress here is given on the Bahiranga sadhana. The conscious mind transacts, but when it is subdued, the subconscious mind erupts. There are scars and vasanas, and to control them is samatvam. To move from what to so what, as Dr. Tigmapegade sir often tells us. Karma yoga is for tranquility of mind or samatvam. Bhagwan Shri Krishna praises karma yoga, particularly the grahastha karma yoga, and calls them the real sannyasa. And the conventional meditationist is separated from the true meditationist, saying the grahastha karma yoga meditation is a far better one. Paramatma wants Arjuna to act, not to be a sannyasi. Both are grahasthas. And this is an example of the Nahi Nindana Nyaya, to bring down to bring down the sannyasi and praise the grahastha sannyasi. Krishna Paramatma says sannyasi is a renouncer. And a renouncer of what? All the worries, all the future planning, and all the sankalpa. So the essence of this shloka is, for a seeker who wants to reach the first step of yoga, karma yoga is the means. That is the first step. And for the one who has already reached the dhyana yoga stage, renunciation is the means. We are still talking of the means, it's not the final goal. So each step is a baby step, each is a baby goal. So karma yoga gives rise to, is an upasana, and when it is practiced like an upasana, it gives rise to chitta shuddhi and gnana yogata prapti. Extremes of doing only karma or only dhyana are of no value at all. Yoga arurosha is an indicator that there is a long way before dhyana can start. It's the 6th chapter of Bhagwad Gita, not the first, and it is the 8th step in Patanjali Yoga, not the first. Yoga Rudasya is one who has attained and accomplished. Withdrawal from all the karmas is shamaha. This could be a traditional sannyasa ashrama, or more important for a grahastha, it is a self-enquiry of Shravana, Manana, Nididhyasana. It's a shift from Pravritti Marga to Nivritti Marga. So what is a mature mind? A mature mind is free from obsessions, pleasures, that is artha and kama both. What's the sign of a mature mind? It is detachment or vairagya. This leads to Nididhyasana. Sarva Sankalpa Sannyasi is the most important. You should not even have a Sankalpa. Adi Shankara quotes in Shanti Parva, There is no wealth equal to the knowledge for yoga of oneness, truthfulness, character, steadfastness, steadiness, harmlessness, straightforwardness, renunciation of several actions, as well as thoughts. Manusmriti says action is due to desire and desire is due to thought. So this is a step-by-step movement into the next stage. Shri Guru Bhyo Namaha.
Thank you. Thank you, Dr. Ravi Shankar. Very nice explanation. As always, we enjoy listening to you. With that, we have come to the end of today's session on the beginning of the 6th chapter. As we, every one of us love the Bhagwad Gita, and the 6th chapter, the part even before Shri Krishna talks about the details of meditation, is one of the most inspirational and practical parts of the 6th chapter, which we will be touching on during the classes of next week. Om Purnamada Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamaya Purnameva Vashishyati. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Om Sarve Bhavantu Sukhinah. Sarve Santu Niramayah. Sarve Bhadrani Pashyantu Ma Kaschit Dukha Bhag Bhavet. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti.